Ryan Williams, Derek Meadows, Lotzier Brooks, Isaiah Horton, all names you should be excited about at Alabama football. But there's one guy who's going to step up big in 2025. Stick around. This is Way Off Sides. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever the case may be. Welcome to Way Off Sides. Cotton here for some cotton time with you. We're going to talk a little Alabama football. The season's getting close. Summer is on its way. It's on your doorstep. It is hot outside. It's hot here in the studio, and I'm in a hoodie. That's just how we do things around here. But with the heat comes the promise of media days, then the promise of fall camp, and then before you know it, the start of the 2025 college football season, one we expect to be a very good year for Alabama football. Now, why is that? Why do we expect 2025 to be such a good year for Alabama football? Well, I'll tell you. Couple. First thing is going to be Ryan Williams. You already know that. You already know about Ryan Williams. Everybody already knows about the sensational now sophomore Ryan Williams going into his second year as a wide receiver at Alabama. He did great things his freshman year. He'll do great things his sophomore year too. Secondly, the Alabama defense. We have high expectations for Kane Wilmock's defense in year two. It started to shine and really flesh itself out. That read and react in the secondary just started to really click with guys like Bray Hubbard, Xavier Brown, people like that, moving into the second half of the season. And we fully expect it to pick up exactly where it left off starting in 2025. The third thing, quarterbacks, right? No matter where you fall on the fence around Jalen Milroe, he's gone. Alabama's going to start a brand new quarterback behind center or in the shotgun, whatever they decide to do. But a lot of people are pretty heavy on Ty Simpson. And I'll tell you this, Alabama has three guys who are capable of slinging it around and dispersing to a very, very, very talented and very deep wide receiver room. Now, that is what I'm most excited to see, how they utilize these wide receivers in 2025. There's so much wealth at the position. It is disgusting how good Alabama is on paper at the wide receiving room. All the talk has been around Isaiah Horton and Ryan Williams in the offseason. There's a lot of excitement around Isaiah Horton coming in from Miami, as there should be. The guy is a stud. He's a baller. He's going to add another facet to this Kalen DeBoer, now Ryan Grubb offense in Tuscaloosa. What we thought we were going to get last year, right? He's going to add to that, stretching the field, strong hands, big body. But I'm telling you, the guy that I think is going to blow up on the scene in 2025 is none other than wide receiver Germie Bernard. Now, I know what you're saying. Cotton, he had a pretty quiet year in 2024. Well, there's a couple of reasons for that. The first being that he didn't get a lot of targets. I think Ryan Williams got 80-something targets. Bernard got 50. Okay, and let's be honest, with the consistency issues that Jalen Milroe was having, a lot of the catches made by Bernard weren't good reads. Now, towards the end of 2024, especially in that Iron Bowl, what you started to see was you started to really see Bernard come into his own. You started to see him develop some comfortability with Milroe. Milroe wasn't just slinging the ball 50 yards downfield, hoping that Ryan Williams would do something crazy. He started to actually read through his progressions. And when he did that, he was able to hit the junior wide receiver. It was sophomore at the time. So he finished the season with 50 receiving yards, 794 yards, 2 touchdowns, but he averaged 16 yards a catch. I think that this guy legitimately will be the real deal. He will be that dependable wide receiver that Alabama is used to having in conjunction with a superstar. Not to say that Germie Bernard's not a superstar. I believe he is. This is why everybody's talking about potential ride out type play from Alabama's wide receivers, because when you look down their depth chart, they've got a lot of guys who can make big things happen. And then you bring in Isaiah Horton. But Germie Bernard, who followed Kalen DeBoer from Washington, has kind of been flying under the radar. Now, some people, I think it was Todd McShay, in their draft board going into next year, they have Germie Bernard in the top 15 going in the draft. Why is that? Because the guy is a freak. He is a dang good wide receiver. He's 6'1", 210 pounds, so he's big. He's bigger than some of the wide receivers we're used to Nick Saban having at Alabama. And he's a great complementary piece to the Hollywood show that's going on the other side of the field. Right? He played second fiddle to that group of really good wide receivers at Washington. The guy had 34 receptions that year for 419 yards. He averaged about 12 yards a reception. Still only 2 touchdowns, but they bumped those numbers up in 2024 at Alabama with Jalen Milroe at quarterback. Now, let's just assume we're all right and that we're going to get a true pocket passing quarterback in there, somebody who can actually sit in the pocket. They can feel the pressure. They can go through these reads and make plays, find the open guy. Let's assume that happens in Tuscaloosa in 2025. Spoiler alert, I think it will, no matter who's starting. But let's say that happens. The targets are going to go up big time for Germie Bernard. Not only that average yardage per catch is going to go up big time. You guys remember when Tua used to throw the slant to Jerry Jeudy or, Henry Ruggs, somebody like that, Jalen Waddle used to hit him with the slant and then it would just go. Just go. That's the kind of talent we're talking about here with Germie Bernard. He can do those things. He just needs a quarterback who can hit it. And I think Alabama's got 3 of them. I think they do. One of them was just invited to the Manning Passing Academy. We all know how prestigious that is. A lot of big name quarterbacks from college have been invited. A few big name quarterbacks from Alabama have been invited in the past. So let's say it's Ty Simpson, right? Man, I'm telling you, I think Germie Bernard is set to have a breakout year. I think the reason that McShay has him in the top 15 is because he understands exactly what I'm saying to you right now, that this guy, even with the Ryan Williams, is still underutilized. So if Alabama can figure out a way to get the ball spread out more to this group of receivers, you've got Cole Adams, Rico Scott, you're bringing in Latsier Brooks, who's going to be insane. You've got, obviously, Ryan Williams, Derek Meadows, just Bubba Hampton. The list goes on and on and on and on and on, right? But if Alabama learns to share the wealth, and I think they'll be able to do that under Ryan Grubb. I think that was a big handicap for Alabama going into last season, not having Grubb calling plays. But now you do. Now you do. Sheridan can sit back and do his thing with his position. Grubb takes over, works in cahoots with Kalen DeBoer. We all saw how good that worked at Washington. A roster not nearly as talented as what Alabama's going to bring to the field in 2025. Things could get nasty. Oh, I didn't even mention Jalen Hill. Jaron Hamilton. I mean, guys, it's nasty. It is nasty what Alabama's going to be able to do. Just watch. Just watch. Jaron Hamilton transferred out, didn't he? Yeah, he did. I can't keep track anymore. Jalen Hill's still there, though. Jalen Hill's still there. Hopefully healthy in 2025. But back to what I was saying about Germie Bernard. I think Bernard will be he's not going to be the primary receiver. We know that. It's going to be Ryan Williams all day long, every day. Doesn't matter who the quarterback is. If the play can go to Ryan Williams, it's going to go to Ryan Williams. But I expect to see Germie Bernard up his probably catches by 10 to 15 throughout the season. But I think they'll be able to use him differently than how he was utilized in 2024. And that's going to lead to more yardage. It's going to lead to more touchdowns and a better yardage. I think Alabama could potentially have 2,000-yard wide receivers in 2025. One of those would be Germie Bernard. The other, obviously, Ryan Williams. What you say to that? That's a big deal. Very big deal. So that's what we got. We're going to be doing these player breakdowns as we go, get closer to the season. Every week we'll try to do one talk about somebody. Maybe it's a player that you know, maybe it's a player you forgot was on the roster. Hell, it might even be a player that transferred and caught and just forgot about him, like I just did with Jaron Hamilton. so, um, but so if you want that kind of information, if you want to hear why you should be hype about Alabama in 2025, because I'm telling you, you absolutely should be hype about what Alabama's bringing to the table in 2025. Why don't you go ahead and do yourself a favor and subscribe? Subscribe, hit the notification bell. We post shorts all the time. We've got lives coming up. We've got great segments like Happy Hour, Cotton Time. We've got a new segment coming up where Chris and I are going to go head to head fighting about various topics. We do After Dark every other Wednesday night, and then we have a live show every Thursday night. This Thursday, we'll actually have Clint Lamb on from Cover Crimson. Don't miss that. Should be a very, very good show. So do yourself a favor. Hit the subscribe button and suffer through the waiting period with us. We'll talk to you about recruiting. We'll talk to you about position breakdowns. We'll talk to you about what to expect when you're expecting. We'll talk to you about whatever you want to talk about, because this is your show, made by the people, for the people. Thank you for hanging out with me. Keep an eye out for more content. We got a lot of stuff coming. As always, say your prayers, read your Bibles, wash your hands, horns down, beat Auburn and LSU and Tennessee too. Roll Tide.